Hi, my name is Cam Bowie, and President Hurley is one of my cousins, and he asked me to talk to you tonight for a little bit, but I think first we should greet you like this. Woo! That is our family war hoop, and he asked me to share a little bit with you about how that came to be our family yell. And I don't remember, or I don't know how it started. My dad is gone now. He died a year and a half ago, and he's the one who started this. And I just remember doing it all my life. I don't know really how he started to do that, but it was one of the ways that my dad kept us all close together as a family. It bonded us together, and over the years we included friends in it with us, and it was just a way that we greeted each other, or sometimes that's how he would call us for dinner or let us know where he was if we were at a carnival or a fair and got separated. He would whoop and we would know where he was. He could find us in a crowd, or we could find him in a crowd. And even now at Walmart, if I see one of my family members or even a friend in the distance, I'll just go whoop, and their heads will turn right away, and we can stop and have a conversation. But when my dad died, I wanted to talk about this at his funeral, and so I did a little bit of research about a war hoop, and it's an actual thing, and it's a war cry or a battle cry to rally the troops when they're charging their enemy. And I thought about this and how that relates to the way that our family uses this as our family yell. And I thought the enemy that we're fighting is Satan and all the evil that he brings into the world. And the hymn Hope of Israel came to my mind when it says, "Hope of Israel, rise in might with the sword of truth and light. Sound the war cry, watch and pray, vanquish every foe today." And I love that because that's how I feel about the war hoop, that it was something that it was kind of like our way of saying, we're all in this together. Let's watch and pray. Let's be careful out there. Or as President Hurley's mother, Barb Hurley, would say, remember who you are. And that's how I look at what the war hoop means to us. And so that's my story about our war hoop. And President Hurley also asked me to tell you a little bit about my dad and how him joining the church has influenced the rest of our family. And so this is my mom, and her name is Mitty. That's our nickname for Mildred. And when she was a member of the church when she started to date my dad, and that was back in the early 1950s, and he really fell for her fast, and he wanted to marry her, and she said that she would not marry him if he wasn't a member of the church. And my dad loved her so much that he didn't hesitate, and he was baptized. And from the time that he was baptized, he was all in. And we found some things since he died, going through his things. And one of the things that we found was an envelope. And on that envelope, it had written on the front, "Do not destroy." And I thought, I wonder what is in this envelope. And I opened it up, and it was his very first temple recommend from when they were sealed in the temple. And I thought, he kept this little envelope with that temple recommend in for 65 years before he died. And that's when we found it. And from that point on, he was all in with the church and with our family. And he was just the best dad. He left so many legacies to us. He always wanted to have fun. He always wanted to make people laugh. He was a great dad and a good provider. He told lots of stories, and he liked to be the life of the party. he had many callings, and I think one of the legacies that he left us is that any calling he had, he gave it his all. He served the best that he could to fulfill that calling, and he had many callings over the years, and probably his best and favorite calling was being a home teacher. We call that a minister now, but he was great at being a home teacher all the years of my life, growing up and even as a married woman. He loved to study the scriptures, and just remembering him talking about what he was reading and watching him and seeing that he was reading his scriptures was a real encouragement for me. I think that he kind of just kept us all together. He was the one that gave us all of our family traditions. It was really important to him that we go on vacations and spend a lot of time together. Right now, you can only see a few of us, but we have lots of children in other rooms playing, and lots of our children and spouses sitting here with us in this room. We just love to be together, and that was something my mom and dad started. His posterity has grown tremendously from starting with him and my mom. I have my sister here with me tonight. This is Lisa. She is my sister. We have one brother who died shortly after birth, and so basically it was just me and her. And from just the two of us, my parents have 2 daughters, 1 son, 9 grandchildren, 23 great-grandchildren, and 5 great-great-grandchildren, and I'm sure that number is going to keep growing and growing. And so his posterity has been greatly influenced by the example that he set for us. The biggest one, I think, is how much he loved my mom. And she had a stroke 10 years ago and has been in this wheelchair ever since. He was determined to bring her home and take care of her, and he took such great loving care of her from then until he lost his health with cancer. And like I said, we lost him 1.5 years ago. And so I'm so grateful that he joined the church, that he was baptized, and we could grow up in the church and see him and my mom's example of raising their family and having strong testimonies and being active in the church. And I think that some of my children have some things that they'd like to say, and so I'll talk to you again in a few minutes.
Hi, my name's Karen. This is my husband Brent, and this is one of our kids, Summer. We have 2 boys also. I am one of Randolph Finney's granddaughters, and as my mom said, our entire family has been extremely blessed because of his choice to join the church. And an extra way that we've been blessed, I mean, my mom married someone who was not a member of the church, who did join the church. And when I met Brent, he was not a member of the church, and he made the choice to be baptized also. And so we're growing Israel in multiple ways. And so, yeah, we're super thankful that he set that example for us and provided that legacy for all of us.
Hi, my name is April Hanasek, and I am a granddaughter of Randolph Finney. I think the most important legacy that he left our family was his dedication to the gospel of Jesus Christ. He was a great example to me and to all of us of really trying and giving effort into living the gospel and doing all of the things that are asked of us. When I was probably 14 or 15, I started making a list in the back of my journal of all the things that I was looking for in a husband. And one of the things that was on that list was that I wanted someone who was just like my Pappy Finney. And so I definitely found someone who I think embodied the same qualities that he did. And my husband and my grandfather became best friends after we were married. They talked on the phone with each other almost every day, and so I really appreciate that example that he set for me, and to not settle, and to find someone who was dedicated to the gospel of Jesus Christ.
In closing, I just want you to know that as you go out on your missions and teach people the gospel, that as they join the church, the work that you have done will affect many, many generations after that, long after you go home. And we just want to say good night with a woo!